Deep within the heart of South America lies a world unlike any other, the Amazon, where life thrives in endless forms and fierce competition. Here, every creature, from the tiniest insect to the most powerful predator, plays a vital role in nature's delicate balance. This documentary explores the untamed lives of the Amazon's ultimate hunters, their instincts, survival strategies, and remarkable adaptations. Through the shadows of dense forests and the stillness of dark waters, we uncover the hidden behaviors that define the pulse of this living wilderness. The Jaguar, silent hunter of the shadows. In the depths of the Amazon rainforest, where light struggles to pierce the dense canopy, a shadow moves with deliberate grace. The Jaguar, powerful, elusive, and utterly silent, is the apex predator of this untamed world. Each movement is calculated, each breath measured, as it glides through undergrowth with the quiet confidence of a creature that has ruled these lands for millennia. Unlike the lions of the savannah or the leopards of Asia, the jaguar's strength lies not only in its stealth but in its sheer physical power. Stocky and muscular, with shoulders built for crushing rather than chasing, it possesses the most formidable bite force of any big cat, strong enough to pierce the skull or shell of its prey. Its preferred method of killing is both brutal and efficient, a single, precise bite to the head or neck, ending the struggle in seconds. The jaguar's diet is as diverse as the ecosystem it governs. It feeds on capybaras, the world's largest rodents, as well as peccaries, armadillos, monkeys, and deer. But its hunting prowess extends beyond land. With unmatched agility, it dives into rivers to ambush caimans and turtles, using its jaws to crack through their armored defenses. Few predators in the world show such adaptability, a testament to the jaguar's dominance across the Amazon's complex web of life. These hunts are usually solitary affairs. A jaguar prefers the cover of twilight or night, when the forest hums with unseen life. It moves with near-invisible precision, blending into the mottled patterns of moonlight, filtering through leaves. When closing in on its prey, it crouches low, muscles coiled, tail still. Then with a sudden burst of speed it strikes, a blur of golden fur and rosettes, a heartbeat of chaos, and then silence once more. After a successful hunt, the jaguar often drags its kill into dense vegetation or under fallen logs, feeding in seclusion. It will rest beside rivers or shallow pools, where it quenches its thirst, not hurriedly. At dawn, the forest stirs with calls and rustling leaves, but the jaguar fades once more into the background. Its rosetted coat, patterned like the dappled sunlight through the trees, becomes one with the forest floor. To most creatures, it is unseen, but never unfelt. Its silent presence dictates the rhythm of life here, reminding every animal that survival is not just a matter of strength, but of awareness. The jaguar is not a creature of rage or chaos. It hunts with purpose, kills with precision, and lives with balance. It embodies the spirit of the Amazon itself, powerful yet patient, elusive yet ever-present. And as long as it prowls the shadows, the forest will remain in harmony. Master of the murky depths, beneath the still waters of the Amazon's flooded forests, lies a world of silence and shadows, a place where patience, stealth, and power decide the rules of survival. Here, among drifting vegetation and submerged roots, the green anaconda moves like a whisper through the water. It is both ghost and giant, a creature as mysterious as it is formidable. Known as one of the largest snakes on Earth, this predator reigns supreme in the watery heart of the jungle. The anaconda's body is a masterpiece of evolutionary design, thick, muscular, and built for both stealth and strength. Reaching lengths of over 25 feet and weighing more than 200 kilograms, it is more massive than any other snake in existence. Its olive-green scales, patterned with dark circular markings, blend perfectly with the murky river water and the dim light filtering through the canopy. This camouflage allows it to vanish completely, even in the shallowest pools. For the creatures that share its domain, danger often lies just beneath the surface. The green anaconda is a patient ambush predator. It spends long hours submerged, with only its nostrils and eyes breaking the water's surface, waiting for the right moment to strike. Its prey is varied and opportunistic. Fish, wading birds, capybaras, caimans, turtles, and even young tapirs can fall victim to its crushing embrace. When an unsuspecting animal ventures too close, the serpent explodes from the water with astonishing speed. In a single motion, it wraps its muscular coils around the prey, tightening with relentless pressure. Each time the animal exhales, the snake squeezes tighter, cutting off circulation and breath until all movement ceases. Unlike venomous snakes, the anaconda relies purely on constriction, a method both ancient and effective. Once the prey is subdued, it is swallowed whole, head first. The anaconda's jaws are hinged by elastic ligaments, allowing its mouth to stretch around prey several times wider than its own head. Digestion is a slow, powerful process, aided by heat from the tropical environment. After a large meal, the snake becomes sluggish, often resting in shallow water or along muddy banks for several days, allowing its massive body to break down the meal. Remarkably, a single large kill can sustain an anaconda for weeks or even months, depending on its size. Its drinking habits are equally tied to its aquatic life. Unlike terrestrial animals that seek out specific drinking spots, the anaconda constantly absorbs moisture through its surroundings. Living in the water-rich ecosystem of the Amazon, dehydration is never a concern. Instead, it draws water passively through its skin while basking, or drinks directly while submerged. During hotter periods, it often retreats to deeper pools to maintain its body temperature, avoiding direct sunlight that could overheat its thick, dark skin. The green anaconda's daily rhythm is largely governed by the light and temperature of its environment. It is most active during dusk and nighttime, when the air cools and the water becomes its perfect hunting ground. The darkness conceals its movement, while the vibrations and scents of passing prey guide its strikes. It relies heavily on thermal sensing and chemical cues rather than sight. Every flick of its tongue gathers particles from the air and water, sending information to the Jacobson's organ, a sensory system that helps the anaconda taste the environment. Unlike big cats or birds of prey, anacondas are not territorial. Their range often overlaps, especially during the dry season, when shrinking water sources bring multiple individuals into close proximity. This is when one of the Amazon's most extraordinary spectacles unfolds, the anaconda ball. Dozens of males, sometimes up to a dozen or more, may coil around a single large female, all competing to mate. This writhing mass can last for days, a slow-motion contest of endurance and determination. The largest and strongest male eventually wins, fertilizing the female internally. Anacondas give birth to live young, a rarity among snakes of their size. After a gestation period of 6 to 7 months, the female gives birth to anywhere from 20 to 40 live offspring, each about 2 feet long. The newborns are fully independent from the moment they emerge, equipped with instinctive hunting ability and sharp reflexes. However, few survive to adulthood. The juveniles fall prey to birds, caimans, and even larger anacondas. Only the most cunning and cautious will grow to dominate the waterways like their parents. The green anaconda is the Amazon's hidden power, a symbol of patience and perfection in nature's grand design, the master of the murky depths. The Harpy Eagle, power in the canopy, high above the endless green of the Amazon, where sunlight breaks through layers of mist and leaves. A shadow drifts in perfect silence. The air is still, but every creature beneath the canopy knows what that shadow means. A sudden hush spreads among the trees. Monkeys freeze mid-leap, sloths cling tighter to their branches, and smaller birds vanish into the leaves. The ruler of the sky is near, the Harpy Eagle, nature's embodiment of strength, precision, and grace. Unlike most eagles that rule open plains or high mountains, the Harpy commands a very different world, a dense, vertical jungle where space is tight and danger lurks among the branches. Here, agility is as crucial as power. With wings shorter and broader than those of other large eagles, it maneuvers through the maze of trees like a phantom. Its broad wings catch invisible air currents between trunks, and its long tail acts as a rudder, granting it unrivaled control in confined spaces where even smaller birds struggle to fly. The Harpy's talons are its most formidable tools, curved and thick as a bear's claws, capable of crushing bone in an instant. One squeeze can end the struggle of a full-grown monkey or a heavy sloth. The talons, combined with powerful legs and a muscular chest, make this bird one of the strongest raptors in the world. A single harpy can lift prey weighing nearly half its own body weight, carrying it effortlessly through the forest canopy. Its diet is a reflection of its mastery over the treetops. The harpy hunts primarily arboreal mammals, sloths, capuchins, howler monkeys, and even opossums. It will also take large birds, iguanas, and occasionally tree-dwelling rodents. But every hunt begins the same way, with stillness. The harpy does not chase, it waits. From a tall perch, it scans the jungle with piercing vision, able to spot movement from more than 200 meters away. Its eyes, large and forward-facing, provide both sharp depth perception and the ability to see subtle motion in the dim light beneath the canopy. When the moment arrives, the harpy launches with breathtaking speed. Folding its wings close to its body, it dives through a maze of branches with precision born from instinct and experience. The forest explodes with sound, the rustle of wings, the snap of a branch, and the brief cry of its prey. Then silence returns. The hunt is over within seconds. With the kill secured, the eagle returns to its perch, clutching the body in its talons, feathers barely ruffled. Unlike many predators that feed in packs or feast on carrion, the harpy hunts for itself and its mate. It feeds primarily on fresh kills, tearing flesh into pieces with its hooked beak and consuming nearly every part. It does not drink water in the traditional sense. Instead, it absorbs hydration from the blood and tissues of its prey, an efficient adaptation in the humid rainforest, where descending to ground level could expose it to predators and danger. The harpy's hunting behavior is intertwined with the daily rhythm of the canopy. It prefers the early morning and late afternoon, when light angles through the trees and prey is most active. Sloths, slow-moving and unaware, make easy targets during their midday climbs. Monkeys, more alert and agile, demand timing and accuracy. The harpy's ambushes are often so swift that even the sharp-eyed primates have no time to sound an alarm. It is this balance of patience and sudden violence that defines the eagle's character, a perfect blend of restraint and ferocity. Though a solitary hunter, the harpy's life is deeply connected to another of its kind. These birds form monogamous pairs, bonding for life. Together, they maintain vast territories, often spanning over 100 square kilometers, where they reign as the top aerial predators. Both partners share the duties of hunting and nesting, taking turns providing food and protection. Their bond is built on cooperation and rhythm. One hunts while the other guards their nest, high above the reach of ground predators. Their nesting sites are remarkable feats of natural engineering. A harpy's nest, or eyrie, is built in the fork of massive emergent trees, often over 100 feet above the forest floor. Constructed from heavy branches and lined with leaves, it can measure nearly 2 meters across and be reused for many years. Each generation repairs and expands the structure, creating a living monument of continuity and devotion. Reproduction among harpy eagles is slow and deliberate. The female lays 1 or 2 eggs, but usually only 1 chick survives. Both parents nurture it with fierce dedication. For nearly 10 months, the chick remains in the nest, growing under the constant watch of its parents. Even after it takes its first flight, the young eagle depends on them for food and guidance for up to 2 years. Learning the subtle art of navigating the canopy, recognizing prey movement, and mastering the precision of its deadly strike. This long upbringing comes at a cost. Harpy eagles raise a chick only once every 2 to 3 years. Yet this slow reproductive rate ensures the young are strong, skilled, and capable of survival. It is a strategy of quality over quantity, a reflection of the eagle's dominance in a world where only the most efficient survive. Interactions with other species reveal the harpy's role as both predator and regulator. Monkeys have evolved intricate alarm calls specifically to warn against its presence. At the first glimpse of its shadow, howlers emit deep, resonant roars that echo through the forest, alerting others. Sloths, in contrast, rely on stillness, blending with the motionless branches to avoid detection. Other raptors, like hawks and owls, maintain a respectful distance, rarely encroaching on a harpy's territory. In its absence, smaller predators become bolder, and prey populations swell, a sign of how crucial the harpy's presence is to ecological balance. Migration holds no place in the harpy eagle's life. Unlike birds that traverse continents, it is a resident hunter, tethered to its chosen forest for life. Its movements are dictated by abundance and need, following prey within its vast territory rather than venturing beyond it. Through the changing seasons, it remains loyal to its realm, adapting seamlessly to fluctuations in food and weather. Its dominance is not built on travel or conquest, but on patience, familiarity, and control. Despite its strength, the harpy's demeanor is one of quiet purpose. It does not hunt for sport or excess. Every strike serves a function in maintaining balance among the canopy dwellers. The monkeys it hunts will not overfeed on new leaves. The sloths it removes open opportunities for younger animals to thrive. In this way, the harpy is both hunter and guardian, the silent enforcer of equilibrium in one of Earth's most intricate ecosystems. As dusk falls over the jungle and the last rays of sunlight glimmer through the treetops, the harpy settles on a high perch. Its broad chest rises and falls slowly, feathers gleaming silver in the fading light. Beneath it, life resumes. Monkeys chatter once more, and birds emerge from hiding. The ruler of the canopy rests, its reign unquestioned. In the silent heart of the forest, few creatures see the harpy eagle clearly. Fewer still survive its strike, yet its presence is felt everywhere, in the hush before a hunt, the order of the canopy, and the delicate balance of life that flourishes beneath its wings. It is not merely a predator, but the spirit of the rainforest made flesh, powerful, patient, and eternal. The piranha, frenzy beneath the surface. Beneath the shimmering surface of the Amazon's winding waterways lies a world that is both beautiful and brutal, a world ruled by sharp senses, swift reactions, and relentless hunger. Here, in the slow-moving tributaries and murky oxbow lakes, the red-bellied piranha reigns as both predator and scavenger, a symbol of nature's raw efficiency. The water may appear calm, but beneath it stirs a silent tension, an ecosystem driven by survival and instinct. The piranha is often painted in legend as a mindless killer, capable of stripping an animal to bone within minutes. Yet the truth is far more intricate and more fascinating. The red-bellied piranha, Pygocentrus natureri, is not merely a frenzied hunter, but a calculated survivor. It is cautious, intelligent, and highly attuned to the rhythms of its environment. Every movement, every vibration, and every scent in the water carries meaning, a signal of danger, opportunity, or death. These fish inhabit a world of constant flux. In the rainy season, the Amazon floods, spreading life across the forest floor. Food becomes abundant. Fruits drop from overhanging branches, insects fall onto the surface, and schools of smaller fish move freely. The piranhas thrive in this abundance, feasting on what the river provides. Their diet is surprisingly varied. Small fish, crustaceans, aquatic insects, fallen fruit, and the occasional carcass of a larger animal swept downstream. They are opportunists, feeding on whatever nature offers rather than seeking conflict. But as the dry season arrives, the story changes. Water levels fall, rivers shrink into shallow pools, and food becomes scarce. In these moments of scarcity, the piranha's true nature emerges. Hunger drives them to turn from scavengers to hunters, and their feeding behavior becomes more aggressive. The sound of a struggling fish or the faint scent of blood can trigger a collective reaction, a sudden, explosive feeding frenzy. Within seconds, dozens of razor-edged mouths flash through the water, tearing flesh and muscle with surgical precision. The attack is not mindless chaos. It is a synchronized assault born from instinct and survival. Each piranha plays its role within the group. The first few to strike open the wound, releasing blood and tissue into the water. The scent ignites the rest of the school, each fish darting in for a bite before retreating to avoid being bitten itself. Within moments, the prey is reduced to a skeleton, its remains drifting silently through the current. This efficiency ensures that energy is never wasted, a vital rule in a world where resources are fleeting. Despite this ferocity, piranhas are not indiscriminate killers. In fact, they are cautious and easily startled. When larger predators such as caimans, giant river otters, or arapaima approach, piranhas scatter instantly, seeking shelter among submerged roots or beneath drifting vegetation. They understand the hierarchy of their world, where they are both predator and prey. Their sharp senses help them detect the faintest ripples, alerting them to danger long before it arrives. Their teeth, interlocking like the blades of a saw, are their defining weapon. Each triangular tooth is perfectly designed for slicing through flesh and bone. When one breaks or wears down, it is replaced by a new tooth growing directly beneath, ensuring that the piranha's bite remains as lethal as ever. The jaw muscles are equally impressive, capable of generating one of the strongest bite forces relative to body size among any fish species. A single bite can shear through scales, fins, or even bone fragments with ease. In the complex food web of the Amazon, piranhas play a vital role as nature's cleanup crew. They consume carcasses that would otherwise decay and contaminate the water, keeping the ecosystem balanced. When a dead caiman or capybara drifts downstream, piranhas gather quickly, reducing it to bone and preventing disease from spreading. This scavenging behavior benefits countless other species that rely on clean water, proving that even the most feared predators can serve as guardians of balance. Their social structure is a blend of cooperation and competition. Piranhas travel in groups, or schools, not for hunting efficiency alone, but for protection. In large numbers, they deter predators and increase individual chances of survival. Within these schools, dominance hierarchies form. Larger, more aggressive individuals often take the first bites during feeding, while smaller ones wait their turn. Yet this tension is balanced by instinctive coordination. They move as one, their silver scales flashing in unison like a single living organism. Their interactions with other species are complex and subtle. River dolphins occasionally stir schools of piranhas to flush out smaller fish, benefiting both hunters. Turtles and large catfish, immune to most piranha bites due to their thick shells or skin, sometimes share feeding zones peacefully. Even birds benefit. Herons and kingfishers follow piranha schools, knowing that the frenzy may force smaller prey to the surface. Every movement of the piranha ripples outward through the food chain, connecting predator and prey in a delicate dance of survival. In terms of drinking habits, fish like the piranha absorb water naturally through osmosis, rather than by drinking. Living in freshwater environments, they constantly regulate the balance of salts and fluids through specialized cells in their gills. It's an unseen but crucial process, keeping them alive in fluctuating conditions as salinity, temperature, and oxygen levels shift throughout the year. The piranha's reproductive cycle is equally remarkable. During the breeding season, males stake out small territories in shallow vegetated waters. They dig circular nests and attract females with body movements and subtle vibrations. Once a female chooses a mate, she lays hundreds of eggs, which the male fertilizes and guards fiercely. For several days, he defends the nest against intruders, even attacking other fish, an unusual display of parental care in a species known for aggression. Within a few days, the eggs hatch into tiny fry, which stay near the nest until they are strong enough to join larger schools. Piranhas do not migrate over long distances like some river species, but they move seasonally in response to changing water levels. During floods, they disperse across flooded forests and lakes, exploring new feeding grounds. When the waters recede, they retreat to deeper channels and lagoons, following the rhythm of the river. These movements, though subtle, ensure their survival year after year, a quiet migration guided by instinct and water's eternal pulse. Despite their reputation, the red-bellied piranha is a creature of restraint and balance. It does not kill for sport or out of madness. It kills because it must, because in the tangled, oxygen-starved waters of the Amazon, survival demands precision. Their presence keeps the ecosystem clean, their feeding prevents disease, and their behavior reflects the constant negotiation between aggression and caution that defines life in the wild. As dusk descends over the river, the last rays of sunlight scatter across the surface, turning the water to liquid gold. Beneath that calm facade, the piranhas drift silently in the shadows, alert, watchful, waiting. The jungle above hums with life, and the water below stirs with quiet motion. For now, all is peaceful, but one drop of blood, one faint tremor in the current, and the stillness will shatter as the frenzy beneath the surface awakens once again. The giant otter, the cooperative predator, along the winding arteries of the Amazon River, a soft chatter echoes across the water, a series of chirps, whistles, and barks that ripple through the morning mist. These sounds belong to one of the rainforest's most social and intelligent predators, the giant otter, Pteronura brasiliensis. Sleek, agile, and endlessly expressive, the giant otter moves through the water like liquid muscle, a seamless blend of grace, speed, and purpose. Where solitude defines the jaguar and stealth guides the anaconda, the otter's strength lies in unity. Living in tight-knit family groups of up to 8 individuals, these predators depend on cooperation for every aspect of survival: hunting, raising young, defending territory, and even mourning their dead. Each member has a role, each sound carries meaning, and every action is part of a carefully coordinated rhythm that echoes through the river system. The giant otter's diet is primarily fish, its preferred prey being large, slow-moving species like catfish and characins. With sharp teeth and powerful jaws, it can crush through slippery scales and bones with ease. Unlike solitary hunters, otters often chase fish as a team. One member flushes the prey from beneath submerged logs or aquatic plants, while others form a barrier, driving the fish towards shallow water where escape becomes impossible. In seconds, the water erupts in a burst of motion, a flurry of bubbles, splashes, and twisting bodies. The otter that makes the catch surfaces triumphantly, gripping its prize in its jaws, the others joining in with squeaks of approval before moving on to the next hunt. Though fish make up the majority of their meals, giant otters are opportunistic predators. They also feed on crabs, small turtles, and occasionally young caimans, ambushing them near the riverbanks. Their hunting efficiency is heightened by their remarkable communication system, a complex language of vocalizations that scientists believe includes over a dozen distinct sounds. High-pitched whistles signal alarm, deep grunts mark territorial warnings, and soft hums are used to reassure pups or coordinate movements. Water is their element, the medium that defines their lives. While most animals approach rivers to drink cautiously, otters live within the water itself. Their hydration comes not from drinking, but from the natural balance maintained by the aquatic environment they inhabit. Their dense, velvety fur, consisting of nearly 1 million hairs per square inch, traps air close to the skin, keeping them dry and buoyant. To maintain this insulation, they spend long periods grooming each other, a ritual that strengthens social bonds as much as it maintains survival. Family structure lies at the heart of the giant otter's existence. A typical group is led by a dominant breeding pair, often lifelong partners. Together they raise their offspring with the help of older siblings, forming one of the most cooperative systems in the animal kingdom. Pups are born in underground dens, elaborate tunnels dug into the muddy riverbanks and hidden beneath thick vegetation. For the first few weeks they remain inside, nourished by their mother's milk, while the rest of the family brings food and guards the entrance. Once the pups are old enough to swim, their world expands dramatically. The adults guide them into the shallows, teaching them to dive, catch fish, and communicate through sound. Training sessions can look like play, chases, mock hunts, and gentle wrestling, but every move serves a purpose. Within months, the young otters become capable hunters, seamlessly integrating into the group's routines. Giant otters are highly territorial, defending long stretches of river, sometimes up to 12 kilometers, against rival groups. They patrol these boundaries daily, leaving scent markings by rubbing glands near their tails against rocks or fallen logs. When intruders approach, the family gathers together, forming a united front at the water's edge. Their heads rise in unison, eyes fixed, whiskers twitching. Then comes the chorus, loud, synchronized screams that echo across the river. Few animals dare to challenge such cohesion. Even caimans and anacondas think twice before testing an otter family's resolve. Despite their ferocity and defense, these creatures are deeply social and affectionate among their own. They sleep in tight clusters, groom constantly, and greet each other with playful nuzzles. These displays are not just emotional, they are essential for maintaining harmony in a system that depends on trust. In a place where survival often demands competition, the giant otter thrives through collaboration. Their interactions with other species reveal the complex web of relationships that define the Amazon's ecosystem. Otters often compete with fish-eating birds like herons and cormorants, sometimes snatching prey right from beneath them. At the same time, their hunting activities help regulate fish populations, ensuring that no single species dominates. Their presence also indirectly benefits scavengers. Scraps from their meals feed smaller fish, turtles, and crustaceans, contributing to the constant recycling of energy in the river system. Predators, however, remain a constant threat. Large black caimans, jaguars, and even anacondas occasionally target otters, especially young or isolated individuals. In such encounters, the group's unity becomes its greatest weapon. When danger approaches, the adults form a defensive ring around the pups, hissing and snapping their jaws above the water's surface. If threatened further, they attack collectively, lunging, biting, and clawing with astonishing aggression. Even the most fearsome predator rarely succeeds against such coordination. The giant otter's behavior across the seasons changes with the river's rhythm. During the flood months, when the forest becomes a vast wetland, they expand their range, exploring new channels and temporary lagoons rich in fish. In the dry season, as water levels drop, they retreat to deeper pools where they can still hunt efficiently. Unlike migratory birds or mammals that travel vast distances, otters follow the seasonal pulse of the river, adapting, shifting, and enduring within their home territory. Their ecological role is profound. As top-tier predators, they help control fish populations, maintaining balance and diversity in aquatic ecosystems. By feeding on weak or overabundant species, they prevent the collapse of smaller food webs. Their presence is also a sign of a healthy environment: clean water, abundant prey, and stable conditions. When otters vanish from a region, it is often a silent warning that something in the ecosystem has faltered. Unique among the predators of the Amazon, the giant otter embodies both strength and empathy. It is fierce when threatened, tender with its young, and intelligent in its methods. It represents an evolutionary strategy built not on dominance or stealth, but on cooperation. Proof that in nature, unity can rival even the mightiest solitary hunters. As the sun sinks low over the river, the family gathers once more near their den. Their sleek bodies glisten in the amber light as they groom one another, exchanging soft calls that fade into the dusk. The water calms, reflecting the silhouettes of these remarkable creatures, guardians of the river, bound by trust, intelligence, and the eternal flow of the Amazon. In a world where survival often favors the ruthless, the giant otter reminds us that strength can come from togetherness, and that the true power of the wild lies not only in the hunt, but in the bond between those who share it. The Black Caiman, guardian of the night. As dusk settles over the Amazon, the symphony of the jungle begins to change. Daylight fades, the chatter of monkeys falls silent, and the deep hum of insects swells beneath the rising moon. Beneath the still surface of the darkened river, a shadow glides silently, ancient, deliberate, and waiting. The Black Caiman, Melanosuchus niger, emerges, a master of stealth and patience, the undisputed ruler of the night. The Black Caiman is one of the Amazon's largest and most formidable predators, reaching lengths of over 6 meters. Its body, armored in thick obsidian scales, absorbs moonlight like a creature sculpted from the night itself. With eyes that gleam like burning coals above the water, it watches, unblinking, unmoving. Every ripple, every breath of the forest is measured. For this reptile, time is a weapon. Its power lies not in speed, but in stillness. During the day, the Black Caiman remains mostly submerged or resting along shaded riverbanks. Its dark coloring blends perfectly with the murky waters and muddy shores, offering both camouflage and thermal protection. But when the sun dips below the horizon, the caiman becomes a silent sovereign of the waterways. Its hunting rituals are slow, methodical, and devastatingly effective. It feeds on a wide range of prey, its diet shifting with age and opportunity. Young caimans begin their lives cautiously, feeding on small fish, frogs, insects, and crustaceans. This varied diet allows them to grow quickly while avoiding direct competition with older individuals. As they mature, their power and their appetite grow exponentially. Adult caimans hunt capybaras, wading birds, monkeys that venture too close to the river's edge, and even deer or peccaries that come to drink. Occasionally, they will ambush other aquatic predators, including snakes and smaller caimans, asserting their dominance over the river's hierarchy. Their hunting strategy is one of endurance and precision. A black caiman can remain completely still for hours, its nostrils and eyes barely breaking the surface. Every muscle is locked, every heartbeat slowed to a whisper. Then, when the moment comes, a ripple, a hoof step, the scent of fear, it strikes with blinding speed. The jaws snap shut with bone-crushing force, pulling prey into the depths where it is drowned or dismembered. What follows is silence once more, the kind of silence that defines the predator's reign. Unlike mammals, the caiman does not drink in the traditional sense. Living entirely within the aquatic realm, It absorbs water naturally through its prey and environment. It spends much of its time floating just below the surface, conserving energy and maintaining perfect control over its internal temperature. Even when resting, it is acutely aware, sensitive to vibrations, temperature shifts, and sound frequencies that most creatures cannot perceive. Caimans play a vital ecological role in maintaining the health of the Amazon's waterways. By preying on weak or diseased animals, they keep populations balanced, preventing overgrazing along riverbanks and controlling fish numbers. Their presence ensures that the web of life within the river remains stable, even as the ecosystem shifts with the seasons. Their interactions with other species are layered with both rivalry and coexistence. Black caimans share their domain with anacondas, jaguars, and giant otters, three of the Amazon's other apex predators. The balance among them is delicate and dynamic. An adult caiman can overpower nearly any animal it encounters, but it is not invincible. Jaguars, with their crushing bite and cunning tactics, sometimes ambush caimans when they bask on the shore. Giant otters, when hunting as a pack, have been known to drive smaller caimans away from their feeding grounds. Such encounters are rare and risky, moments where the great predators test one another, shaping the hierarchy of the wild. The black caiman's reproductive cycle mirrors its patient nature. During the dry season, when river levels fall and exposed sandbanks appear, the female constructs a massive nest from vegetation and mud. She lays up to 60 eggs, burying them under layers of warmth that ferment and generate heat. The mother guards this nest with unwavering dedication, staying close by day and night. Any intruder, be it bird, mammal, or reptile, risks a sudden and violent death. After about 90 days, the eggs begin to hatch. The tiny hatchlings emit high-pitched squeals from within their shells, a signal that calls their mother to dig them out. She gently carries the newborns to the water in her jaws one by one, releasing them into the shallows where life begins anew. For several months she remains nearby, defending her offspring from predators such as herons, snakes, and even other caimans. This maternal instinct is rare among reptiles and marks the black caiman as one of the Amazon's most attentive guardians. As the young grow, they disperse into calmer tributaries and flooded forests, avoiding adult males that might see them as competition or prey. Over the years, as they grow stronger and darker in color, they return to deeper channels, the same waters their ancestors once ruled. There is no migration in the traditional sense. Instead, their movements follow the pulse of the river itself. When floods arrive, they spread through the flooded forest, exploring new feeding grounds. When the waters recede, they retreat to deep lagoons and oxbow lakes, where they wait for the cycle to begin again. The black caiman's reflective eyes, glowing red under the beam of a flashlight, have long inspired both awe and fear. Yet behind that eerie gaze lies intelligence, an ancient awareness honed over millions of years. Caimans use low-frequency vocalizations to communicate, rumbling calls that travel through water and air alike. Males bellow to assert territory, females grunt to their young, and juveniles chirp to signal distress. In the dense chorus of the night, these sounds form an invisible language that binds generations together. As an apex predator, the black caiman's role extends far beyond its own survival. It is the keeper of balance, ensuring that no single species dominates the waters. Where it thrives, the river flourishes, clean, alive, and abundant. Its decline, on the other hand, often signals imbalance, the overgrowth of prey species, and the slow unraveling of aquatic ecosystems. When night deepens and mist drifts low over the water, the caiman continues its silent patrol. Each movement is deliberate, each breath measured. Around it, the forest hums with unseen life. Frogs calling from the reeds, bats skimming the surface, insects glowing faintly in the dark. The black caiman waits among them, both participant and observer, the living embodiment of patience. In the stillness of the night, it reminds the jungle of an eternal truth, that survival belongs not only to the swift or the strong, but to those who master the art of stillness, those who watch, endure, and strike only when the time is right. The Black Caiman, the guardian of the night, rules not through chaos, but through control, the silent balance between predator and prey that has defined life in the Amazon for millennia. In this realm of endless life, survival is both art and instinct. From silent hunters to cooperative predators, each creature shapes the fate of the forest. Together, they form a web of power, adaptation, and mystery, the heartbeat of the Amazon that has endured for millions of years.